You ever have that feeling? You know the one, where you're working harder and harder using all the best tools, but you feel like you're just falling behind? Well, there's a name for that. It's a hidden system, a trap that almost everyone in the modern workplace has fallen into. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it. I mean, think about it. It's a huge contradiction, right? We have AI that can practically do our jobs for us, apps to organize every second of our lives, instant communication. We should be working less and living more. And yet, somehow, we're more exhausted and overwhelmed than ever before. What is going on here?
And this really lays it all out. The promise was simple. More efficiency would mean more free time. But the reality? Well, for most of us, more efficiency has just led to more work. More automation has led to more mental exhaustion. And more free time? That's turned into more burnout. This is the central paradox we're going to break down.
So to figure this whole thing out, here's our game plan. First, we're going to expose the invisible architecture that actually powers this trap. Then, we'll look at how it shows up in the real world. We'll dig into why we don't even notice we're in it, how to actually work with our own biology to escape, and finally, how to choose a completely new finish line. Okay, first things first. Let's uncover the hidden forces at play here. These are these powerful, invisible ideas from biology and economics that are pretty much the foundation of the entire productivity trap. So, the first piece of this puzzle is something called the Red Queen effect. It comes from evolutionary biology. Picture it like this. A rabbit evolves to run faster to escape a fox, so the fox has to evolve to run faster just to keep up. In our work lives, it's the same thing. When one person starts using a new AI tool, that becomes the new baseline. Pretty soon, everyone has to work at that new, faster speed, not to get ahead, but just to stay in the same place. You're running so much faster, but you haven't actually gone anywhere. Next up, there's this economic engine driving the trap, and it's called Jevons paradox. So way back in the 1800s, steam engines got way more efficient. You'd think that meant England used less coal, right? Nope, they used way more because it made coal power cheaper. Today, it's the same with our time. When AI makes writing a report faster, we don't suddenly get 2 hours of free time. Instead, the expectation just expands. Now we're supposed to write 5 reports. Efficiency gains don't lead to conservation, they lead to more consumption.
And then there's the brain science piece of it. Think of your brain as having 2 main modes that work like a seesaw. On one side, you've got the task-positive network, or TPN. That's your get-it-done mode. It's on when you're focused. But when you rest, the other side comes up, the default mode network, or DMN. That's your daydream mode, and it is absolutely essential for creativity and for locking in what you've learned. The problem? Modern work has us constantly hammering the get-it-done side, so the seesaw never gets to tip back. We never get that crucial time for recovery and insight.
So when you put it all together, you can see these aren't just separate problems. They all feed into each other. They form this interconnected web, this matrix of paradoxes. Jevons paradox creates more work. The Red Queen effect makes us all run faster. It all works together to create this invisible architecture of exhaustion. All right, let's move on from the theory. How do these big, abstract ideas actually show up in your day-to-day life? What does it feel like to be inside the trap? This quote from an AI developer it nails it perfectly. He's way faster than he's ever been. Tasks take a fraction of the time. But his days aren't easier. They're actually more challenging. That's the feeling. That's the trap in action. And that brings us to what's called the AI paradox. Yeah, sure, AI can spit out a draft in seconds, but then you have to prompt it, review it, check it, edit it. All of that meta work is often way more mentally taxing than just writing the thing yourself. Your day doesn't get emptier, it gets denser, packed with more decisions and less time to actually think. And all this meta work forces us to constantly switch tasks. But here's the thing, our brains are terrible at that. We think we're multitasking, but we're really just task switching. And every single time you switch, you pay a mental price. Some research says that tax price can be as high as a 40% loss in productivity. So the very thing our tools encourage is actually making us worse at our jobs. So if this system is so obviously draining and counterproductive, why do we all keep doing it? Well, that brings us to the social side of things, the culture that makes this trap seem not just normal, but kind of cool. Just think about it. The next time you ask someone, "How are you?" listen to the answer. It's almost never fine. It's, "Oh, so busy, swamped, just crazy." Being busy isn't a complaint anymore. It's become a weird kind of humble brag.
Yeah, there's a name for this too. Conspicuous busyness. 100 years ago, having a lot of leisure time was a status symbol. Today, it's the opposite. We signal how important we are by having zero free time. Saying you're overworked is a way of saying, I'm ambitious, I'm needed, I'm in demand. And that social pressure keeps us all on the treadmill. And that external pressure, it seeps inside and becomes what we call toxic productivity. It's that voice in your head that makes you feel guilty when you try to relax. It's the feeling that rest is something you have to earn. This is when the trap stops being about work and starts being about your identity. It's when your self-worth gets all tangled up in how much you get done. Okay, but here's the good news. Understanding this system is absolutely the first step to getting out of it. And the key isn't some new app or another productivity hack. It's about learning to work with your brain's biology, not constantly fighting against it. Remember that focus mode in your brain, the TPN? Think of it like a muscle. And every time you check an email or glance at a notification while you're trying to work, it's like doing a sloppy partial rep at the gym. It actually makes the muscle weaker. Monotasking, really focusing on one single thing, that's how you strengthen it. There's a really simple science-backed way to do this. It's called the focus loop. Just 3 steps. First, you prime. Clear your desk, close your tabs, set an intention. Second, you perform. Do a focused sprint of work. And third, and this is the part we always skip, you recover. Take a real break. Let your mind wander. Let that default mode network do its thing. So how long should those work sprints be? Well, your brain actually has a preference. It operates on something called an ultradian rhythm, which is about a 90-minute cycle of high and low energy. So if you work in focused 90-minute blocks, followed by a real 15 or 20-minute break, you're working in sync with your brain's natural rhythm. That's how you get sustainable performance. And this brings us to what might be the most radical idea of all. Doing nothing is one of the most productive things you can possibly do. I'm serious. Taking a walk without a podcast, just staring out a window, that's not laziness. It is a biological requirement. It's when your brain processes information, makes those creative leaps, and recharges for the next round of real work.
Which brings us to our final and honestly most important section. Escaping this trap isn't just about changing how you work, it's about changing the entire goal of the game. Because here's the truth about the productivity trap. It is a race with no finish line. It's designed to be unwinnable. The goalposts will always move. The baseline will always rise. The only way you can ever win is to decide to stop running their race. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. What if we just stopped measuring a good day by the number of things we crossed off a to-do list? What if instead a successful day was defined by the meaning you found in your work, by the quality of your focus, by your own well-being when you shut your laptop at the end of the day? What would change for you if that was your finish line?